Greetings, Southeast Conference of the United Church of Christ. My name is Reverend Kim Wood, and I serve as your conference minister. Since the beginning of Lent, which started with Ash Wednesday on March 2nd, the Southeast Conference staff have been sharing meditations focused on fasting as acts of abundance. Instead of giving up something that is a favorite, be it a favorite food or activity, what can we give or do out of the abundance of God's love? Such as intentionally focusing on giving kindness, attention, or care. What can we do to share the light of God's love in this broken and struggling world? Today I invite you to reflect with me about two things that frequently and easily get in the way of living and loving abundantly. The first is greed. Both the First Testament or Hebrew scriptures and the Second or New Testament warn us against greed. Matthew 6:24 tells us that no one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Greed left unchecked becomes a slave master. Greed has the ability to turn our focus away from generosity. Says Proverbs 22:9, "The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor." When we become so consumed by wanting more, believing that we need more to be safe or happy, we lose sight of God's abundance as we willingly shed Jesus' ministry of providing for those in need to elevate ourselves at the risk of others. Generosity is critical to personal, spiritual, and emotional well-being. As Jesus himself said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. Fasting from greed moves us toward abundance, not necessarily of earthly treasures, but of love, compassion, and relationship. Equally detrimental to acknowledging and living from God's abundance is grudge, the lack of capacity or desire to forgive. Not only does it get in the way of us loving others, but it also gets in the way of God forgiving us. Matthew 6:14-15 says, "For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly parent will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will God forgive your trespasses." Holding something against our siblings keeps us at arm's length from them, unable to connect and care. But it also holds God at a distance. Forgiveness isn't always easy. In fact, sometimes it can feel downright impossible. But that grudge, that harm or hurt that has been inflicted upon us, that is hard to release, keeps us rooted in shadows, unable to bask and grow in the glory of God's amazing love. As we move into these final days before Holy Week, perhaps we can fast from greed that keeps us centered on self, and from the chains of bitterness and resentment that hold us back from forgiving as God forgives each and every one of us over and over again. Amen. Thank you for spending this time in reflection with us and for your continued generosity to our shared ministries as the Southeast Conference. These Lenten meditations are made possible through your contributions to OCWM, our church's wider mission. 1 Timothy 6:17-19 tells us with all certainty, "Command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant nor to put their hope in wealth, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in God, who richly provides us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. In this way, they will lay up treasures for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life."